Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Barbara and I love to create budget-friendly home decor. So if that is something that you enjoy, I hope you will consider hitting the subscribe button and then the bell icon so YouTube can notify you the next time I upload a new video. And if you enjoyed today's video, please like, comment, and share with your friends. This is the next part of my Christmas 2020 series. If you've missed my previous videos, I have a playlist on my channel called Christmas 2020 DIYs. I would love it if you'd go over there, click the playlist, and you can enjoy all the creations I've made so far. For the first project, I am using this sled sign from Dollar Tree. I go ahead and remove the hanger and tag, and then I find the easiest way to remove the glitter is to heat that glue up with my hairdryer, and then I can take my sandpaper and sand over those glitter spots, and they come off very easily. Then I am taking my Waverly chalk paint in white, and I'm going to give the two top pieces of this sign 2 thin coats, allowing them to dry in between coats. I'm not going to paint the 2 back pieces. I'm going to paint those in a different color, but I do make sure I get the outside edges as well. I'm also going to be using 2 garland ties. You can find these at Dollar Tree or Dollar General, and I'm going to give those a nice dusting with the same white chalk paint. Now in project number 1, I'm only going to be using one of the garland ties, but I am going to use part of the second one in our next project, so I went ahead and gave it a dusting as well. Then I am going to take my chalkboard black craft paint. This came from Dollar General. And I am going to paint the back part of this sled in 1 coat of this paint. And you can use any black chalk paint you like. This is just what I had closest to me. And then I'm also going to be using this metal peace sign from Dollar Tree. They come in a package that say peace, joy, and believe. And we're going to use this entire package on the 3 projects in today's video. So I am just going to give this 2 thin coats, allowing it to dry in between. And then I like to go over these pieces because they're metal after the paint dries. I like to go over it with Mod Podge just to keep that chalk paint from chipping off the top of my metal sign. I've taken some of the garland tie and I have cut it down to 4 different pieces. 2 are the same size and then 2 smaller pieces. And then I'm going to glue those to the top of the sled. And then I got a little hot glue there, so I had to get that off. And then I'm also going to use some red berries that I had left over from a previous DIY. These come off of a bundle from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut a few of them off and place them on each side of the garland ties. And then I'm going to take my buffalo check ribbon. This came from Hobby Lobby. It's a little bit thinner. It's not as wide as what you find at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to create a round fluffy bow. So I'm going to create a 3-loop bow, and I just loop those around so you'll have 3 loops on each side. And then I'm going to squeeze the center as tight as I can after I cut the excess off. And then I'm going to take another piece of the same ribbon, and the way I like to make my bows is I cut that piece down and then I'll fold it into thirds, and then I will hot glue that piece around my bow so it has a nice finished look. So, and making sure that you keep it very tightly as you are applying this to the center. So I just hot glue that around, and then I'm going to fluff this bow out really nicely. I wanted it to be a very round, it almost looks like a ball when I get finished. So fluff it around really nicely, and then I'm going to glue that down in between the garland, and then once that glue dries, I'm going to fluff it out some more and kind of squeeze it together. And once I get that finished, I am going to take 2 of these red decorative bells. These come from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take some hemp rope and just pull that through the top of the bell. I'm going to double knot that at the top. And then I'm going to do that for the second bell as well. Now, I love this hemp rope because you can use jute cord or whatever you like, but I love the hemp rope because it is a smooth finish. It doesn't have a lot of fraying to it. It doesn't have all those extra strands hanging off of it. So I just hold it up to see how far I want the bells to hang down on the sign, and then I'm going to do the second bell the same way, double knotting it at the top. And then I'm going to take the two bells and double knot those together with one higher than the other, and then just making sure that it is the same length that I want, excuse me, to hang from the bow. And then once I get that to my desired length, I'm going to take a pine cone that I had left over from previous DIY. This came on a pick from Dollar Tree, and I didn't use the pine cone on the other DIY. So it has a little stem on the back, and I'm just going to take my rope and wrap it around that stem and hot glue it to the stem. So once I get that done, I am going to set the pine cone and the bells to the side because I'm going to put some, finish decorating the sign before I put these bells on there. So just cut that extra rope off, and then I'm going to set those to the side. And I'm going to be using some ribbon from Walmart. This is a gorgeous ribbon. It has a burlap in the center, and then it has the black and white, I don't know if you would call that gingham print or buffalo check on the outside, but you get 25 feet for $4.98 from Walmart. So I went ahead and cut 2 lengths down, and then I'm going to hot glue some at the piece of the ribbon at the top where the curved edge stops and the straight edge starts. And I just go ahead and hot glue that down, and then I make sure that it stays as straight as possible. And then I'm going to go back in and apply more glue up under those 2 edges so the ribbon doesn't move around. And then I'm going to repeat that at the bottom part of the sign as well. Now make sure you leave enough space so that you can apply your peace word in between the 2 ribbons. And then I'll just put some hot glue, hold that in place, and then I'm going to hot glue the metal peace sign. Now be very careful because the glue does make this metal hot. And then I'm just going to place that down in between the 2 ribbons. And then I'm going to take the pine cone and hot glue that with the bells in between the bow. And then I'm going to take the same hemp rope and I'm going to create a hanger for this sign. So I'm just going to pull the rope through the top 2 holes of the sign, and then I'm going to loop it around and pull it back through. So just take the opposite side and come through that hole, and then vice versa on the other side. So then you have 3 strands. Then I'm going to pull 2 of the strands up, leaving 1 strand going straight across. And then I'm going to take the 2 hanging pieces and I'm going to wrap those around the 2 strands and then hot glue that down. So one of the strands is going to the right, and I'm going to hot glue that down. And then the other strand will go to the left and hot glue that down. And this is going to create a cute handle at the top of the sign. So it looks like a cute handle that you're pulling the sled with. Then once I get all of that glued down, I'll cut the excess off and this sign will be finished. And I absolutely love how this turned out, and I hope that you like it too. For our second project, I am using this wood rectangle plaque from Walmart. This was $1. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the plastic tab and the sticker on the front. You guys, this sticker peeled up really easily. I didn't need to use my hairdryer. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did. And I went ahead and removed that sticker. And I'm going to give this 2 coats of my Waverly white chalk paint. And I'm only painting the outside edges and the front. And then I'm going to be using this metal joy sign that came from the package at Dollar Tree. And I'm going to give this 2 coats of my black chalkboard paint from Dollar General, allowing it to dry in between coats. And again, I go over this with Mod Podge once that paint dries to keep the paint from chipping off. Now that the plaque has 2 coats of paint and they're dry, I'm going to use the buffalo check ribbon from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just lining these up, making sure that the lines go in the same direction on the plaque. And I'm going to cut those two pieces down and hot glue one to the top and one to the bottom. And what I like to do is once I get my top piece on there, I hold the bottom piece up to it to make sure those lines are in the same place. And then I'll hot glue that down as well. And once I get the ribbon glued down, I am going to attach the joy sign right in between the two ribbons using hot glue. Again, make sure you're careful because this does make the metal hot. And I'm just going to apply that right in the center. And then I'm going to take some of the garland tie that we painted in project number 1. And I've actually just curved these up a little bit, just bent those up. And I'm going to glue that to the top. And then I'm going to glue the berries in the center. And I do glue my garland down so it doesn't pop up too much. And then once I glue the berries to the center, I'm going to create a hanger for the back using the hemp rope. And you guys, this is such a simple and easy project. You could actually, if you have a very large tree, use this as an ornament on your tree or just use it for decor in your house. Now those are pieces of craft stick that I just put on the back for added support. Super simple and easy project, and I think it turned out gorgeous. I love this project and I hope you do too. Moving on to our third project, which is also super simple and easy, I am using an 8x10 frame. This is something that I had created before on a previous DIY, and I'm just reusing the frame and the backing. And I'm going to give it one coat of my black chalkboard paint. Again, once this is dry, I do go over it with Mod Podge to protect the paint from chipping. And you can use any 8x10 frame. I took the glass out and I'm just using the frame and the backboard piece. And once I get that paint on there, I'm going to be using the metal believe sign on this project. And I'm going to give it 3 coats. It took 3 coats of my white chalk paint to paint this. And again, I also go over that with Mod Podge when it's dry to make sure the paint doesn't chip. And then for the backboard of the frame, I am using the red and black. I don't know if you would call this buffalo check or I'm not sure which color, but it's scrapbook paper. And it came from Hobby Lobby. And I just traced that out, cut it down with my scissors, and I'm going to apply this to the back of the sign using some school glue. Now you can use hot glue, you can use Mod Podge, whatever you like. I just chose to use the school glue, Elmer school glue. And I'm just going to put a nice generous amount all over the back of my scrapbook paper. Now you can find this on sale at Hobby Lobby for 25 cents a piece. And I lost some footage, but you guys, I just flip it over, I put it on the board, and I smoothed it out. Now I'm going to put that back into the frame and push my tabs down. And then I am going to take my metal wording and I'm going to apply it to the sign using hot glue. So once I get those tabs in there, I can just flip that over and put my metal sign right there on the front. Again, be careful because the hot glue does make the metal hot. And then I thought it needed a little something extra once I get that on there. You could leave it just like it is. It's beautiful. But I'm using this metal ornament snowflake from Dollar Tree. And it's a little bit more glamorous than the style I'm going for this piece. So I do remove that center portion. I keep the little glass piece because I'm going to paint that. And I take the glittery like leaf part off. It was very easy to come off. And then I take my wire cutters because the part that the ornament hangs from is a little bit longer than the rest. And I cut that down and then I just shape it up to make it look similar to the other pieces. And I'm just testing it to make sure it doesn't cut anybody. And it's not too super sharp, but just be careful not to cut yourself. And then I'll just shape that up. And then the round portion that was on the front, the little gem, I'm going to give that 2 coats of my Waverly chalk paint in white. And I don't Mod Podge over this because it's on the sign and it's not going to be touched a lot. Once that dries, I glue it to the center of the snowflake, and then I am going to glue the snowflake to the top part of the picture frame. And then once I get that on there, this project is finished. And I thought it gave it a nice embellishment, a nice little added touch. And this is how project number 3 turned out. I think this is so cute. You guys, if you have a favorite, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know. I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please take care, and I will see you guys next time.